our good old Skype. We're happy to be back to Skype. But Zoom wasn't horrible, and Arlen was a fantastic guest, and
Yeah.
all that matters.
Yes.
So everyone, welcome back to Horror and Heels. We were just reminiscing about how nice it was to have Arlen on last week. If you didn't take a listen, go ahead and do that because he was a fabulous guest.
So
Hey,
much fun.
Jen, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Today went by so fast. I was like, for me, it went by fast.
Guys, Jen and I are in a little fight. It's a very East Coast, West Coast thing. And it's really not Jen's fault, but bitch needs to stop posting up pictures of her by pools and beaches while I'm here in rainy April New York weather. It's very
Sorry.
depressing, guys.
Sorry, not sorry.
You're really not.
Sorry. Sorry you're not here.
Next time um you know what, that's it. Chris Long, he lives on the East Coast. Me and him are doing the next podcast together just so we can bitch about shitty weather. We're gonna do
That's
a
fine.
podcast together and it's just gonna be us talking about whiskey and shitty weather. That's what Chris and I are gonna do.
The hostile takeover, foreign heels.
Speaking of where I live, we are talking today about the Amityville Horror. This week we're doing the 1974, right? 74?
Was it 74 or 79?
I thought it was 74. Oh, guys.
Lord. We're so bad at this.
Do you think we'd learn to like do some
You
I
know,
don't
some
know.
research before we just start talking.
Yeah,
Nah.
nah, who does that? What is
79. It is 79.
It's 79. You were right. Okay. And then next week we're gonna do the one with Ryan Reynolds.
Yum
And
yum.
basically it's because I want to see Ryan Reynolds topless.
Yeah, with a shirt off. Always down for that.
So I wanted to laugh because just a little background on Amity, that house, and where we are currently in the life of the house. It was sold in 2016 for 640,000 approximately. It has been completely refaced. If you were to drive down the street, you would not know which one it is. Also, in the movie, you see that the water butts the house. I don't know how it was in 1974. I can tell you now that due to our laws and rules and regulations and just trying to protect our cities and towns from the massive water, that all has bulkhead now. So it's completely bulkheaded out. It's more of um, you can't go right into the water, um, and then you can still moor. Um, so, and then in 2020, it looked like the house was back on the market, but then it was taken quickly off, I think, due to COVID. So, I hate that at the beginning of the movie they say that Mr. DeFeo killed his mom, his dad, his siblings. What I hate is that no cause was found. I think that does a disservice to people suffering from mental illness. Clearly, Mr. DeFeo, God rest his soul, did a horrible thing. He obviously did a horrible thing because something was plaguing him mentally. I don't believe that people just wake up one day choosing to kill their beloveds. I believe it's a complete mental break that someone suffers. And I think that we need to discuss that more broadly in our country so that we can help those people more broadly. I believe that most people of one time or another, suffer some sort of mental illness, whether it be anxiety, depression, manic depression, bipolar, any of the above. Getting help is the best thing that you can do. I believe that Mr. DeFeo never even was in his cognitive mind when he committed those crimes. And maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me wanting to believe that people who commit these heinous murders do so unknowingly and unwillingly. But that's where I stand on that. Jen, how did you feel about just the overall tone and theme of this movie? Because you had never seen it before.
Yeah, it was
Oh, no,
slow.
I'd seen this. I'm sorry. The other movie we were going to do, you hadn't seen before.
Yeah, no, I don't think. No, I have never watched the original.
Oh.
I've watched the Ryan Reynolds one before. I've never watched this original, Amityville Horror. It's a slow burn. It was it's a very slow burn. Um, but it's I would say, huh?
I think I feel like I'm more drawn to the slow burn than you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on how slow, because you didn't like The Thing. The 1950 whatever.
Oh, well, no, that was. I mean, we
So
have snails moving faster than the burn.
depends on the burn.
Actually, the other two, their tempos were very.
Yeah.
That's
No, I'm talking about.
I guess I forgot about the 1952 one, guys, because if you had all seen the look I gave Jen, I was like, no, I really like the last one.
Yeah.
The first one was great. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, the 50s. The 50s.
Like, oh, yeah, it's coming back.
You blocked it out.
I did. Well,
this one,
speaking of things that I've clearly blocked out in my life, I'm watching the old Real World Road Rules Challenge on Paramount Plus, and I'm on the Gauntlet too, and all the boys wear their caps except for two, Mark and TJ, who are older, and Timmy. Don't do this, but I believe it's because they're really old, like they're like my age. The rest of them skewed the cap, and I'm like, why are they doing?
Oh, I remember that trend.
And Ed goes to me, you blocked that out because everyone did it.
Yeah.
But my husband was quick to go, not me, but everybody.
But everybody else. I remember that trend.
I blocked that hard. What else did I see the other day? And I was like, I don't remember that being like a trend. And somebody was like, oh, like the bracelets almost up to like the elbow. Remember when it was just too many?
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that was a Long Island thing, but I was like, I don't remember that. My friend was like, no, it was a thing. I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've blocked a lot out, guys. Just
trauma. You're just blocking out the trauma. It's fine.
You know what else? I was watching another show, and it was an older show too, and somebody owned a lot of visors. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot when visors were a thing. I also forgot when I participated in that. So all not great.
I just bought a visor for golfing, so I have one. It's nice. I enjoy it.
Now, I do know that visor is a very golf thing. What makes it better for golf than just a regular hat?
Well, for me, I wear my hair on like this, and so a hat does not really go with my hair. For me, it's actually functional to have a visor.
It's not a golf thing; it's a hat thing.
Yeah.
Well, there were some Islander hats on clearance, and I didn't realize I bought 3 of them, one for me, one for my husband, one for my dad, and I realized the one I had bought myself didn't have the adjustable band, so my husband because I'm like, I can't. Mine was fitted. I had a different logo, but mine was fitted. I'm like, Ed, we have to change, and he's like, why? I'm like, I can fit a ponytail through a fitted hat. He's like,
right. Yeah. Sorry, bud.
Speaking of looks, I do feel that the casting was very good.
And this in Amityville?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, love Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
That's 2 horror movies for her.
Yeah.
We've seen her in Black Christmas and this one.
Mm-hmm.
James Brolin is a handsome man.
He is, and he did look like Mr. DeFeo. So when they were all saying it, I went back to look at like his Mr. DeFeo's original mugshot.
And
I was like, oh yeah, I see the similarities. I think in the 70s, a lot of men look similar. That like curly,
the dark hair, yeah,
and the massive beard. I mean, there's not much more. There's like, if you gave that description to the cops in the 70s,
like they'd be like,
up 60 men.
They'd be like, that's the officer that's taking down the information right now.
Yeah,
so
he'd be like, so me?
That's what I look like.
He was wearing a corduroy jacket.
Yeah. Okay.
Bell bottoms. None of
Thanks.
this helps.
Nothing.
None of this helps. I gotta say, that does make it easy. Like, we are much less, like, generic with looks these days. Much easier to find the criminals.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
So, that's a bright side of individuality and looks. You can nab a criminal.
You can catch the criminals better.
But can we talk? This is Long Island, and one too many R's kept getting pronounced. I just want to say, they were lacking an accent in this movie that I could have used for believability.
Yeah, nobody had an accent. But well, didn't the family move from somewhere else? They weren't from Long Island, were they?
I think they were like from Jersey. It wasn't far.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the West. It wasn't far because he never moved his.
His company.
I think they were like renting in Queens or something. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so even more, there should have been more of an accent. What did you think about the portrayal of the church?
I don't know. It was the same. It's just about the same as they portray the church in every possessed horror movie.
I thought it was very interesting how immediately when her priest goes into the house, he is
attacked,
afflicted. I think.
Yeah, he stayed in there way too long. I'd have been gone.
I would have been like Aunt What's Her Face and gotten.
Yeah, the nun. She was like, no.
I think it's so funny. Like, you're like, you don't realize it, but this woman's like very religious. Like, to the
wife?
point.
What?
To the point of like, it's her family. The nun is related to her.
Yeah.
But she noped out. She was.
Yeah.
And you know what I loved and what I thought was very impactful?
What?
Is when she pulls over and throws up, you don't see it. You don't see what comes out of her. Like, you don't know. Is it regular throw up? Is it bile? Is it blood? Like, you don't know. Yeah. And that's a little more impactful to me. I like when you don't see everything.
Yeah. The priest threw up too. When he left.
Right.
So it's making all the religious people vomit. But I'm like, you guys couldn't have just given a heads up. Although the way she left, I would have left too. I'd have been like, okay, well, this isn't the place for us to be.
See, like, here's the thing now. I'm the type, I'm leaving, and we're all leaving.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
She knew what was getting her sick. It wasn't like she just thought she was having a spell.
Yeah.
Like, she knew.
Yeah.
So I'm getting my whole family the fuck out. Like, let's get the fuck out now.
Right.
I think even if I was a nun, that would be the moment. Just because I feel like if you're a nun and you start screaming to your family, let's get it the fuck out, that's very impactful. Why is my nun of an aunt now cursing? You know?
Yeah, right?
It's like, okay, whatever's happening,
and what?
Aunt so-and-so really, because I can't remember the nun's name.
Yeah.
Is really, she's shaken to her core enough to give up like one of her tenements, like cursing, sitting, saying the Lord's name in vain. She's going outside her comfort zone. Let's just hear the woman out. Let's get out the door, and then we'll hear the woman out.
Yeah, and then we'll hear after we're safely away from the house.
Yeah. So, I thought it was very interesting how they were fighting, how the clergymen were fighting amongst each other.
Yeah, that scene was intense. He was upset.
That really was intense. Like, I was like, you just don't think of, like, and then he's like, you just need to take a vacation. You're overworked.
Like, no.
I'm not
That's
overworked.
I know the difference between I need a rest and the house tried to kill me. Thanks.
Thanks. I know I'm a little elderly, but I can tell the difference.
Been around long enough to tell the difference.
But I have to say, if going psychotic and, like, pretending that a house kills me is all I need for my employer to put me away at a facility where they take care of my every need, feed me, bathe me, clothe me. The grounds looked quite lovely. I don't know that I would necessarily turn down a free
Right? I'd be like, fine. As long as I'm not doing that house again.
Yeah.
Put me away. It's cool. Yeah, that scene, that actor was like doing the most with that yelling.
He was. What I don't like about this, I would just have liked maybe like 10 minutes with the family as a family before they ever get into that house.
Yeah.
Was George truly this dickish to begin with and she, like, ignored it, or was...
Well, I feel like with the way she acted, that wasn't normal for him. Or else she wouldn't have been that shocked and like...
Towards the end, but even in the very beginning, she's like, oh, stop it, when he's being, like, kind of... That real estate agent was doing the most work. God. Getting that commission.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, look at the lighting, look at this.
Turn this into a playroom.
Motivated to sell. Yeah, 4 fucking people were murdered here. Of course they're motivated.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
are you talking about?
At least they weren't lied to, though, about it.
Correct. So I actually asked, I don't know if the law has changed. The seller's agent has no responsibility to disclose that information to you.
They do in California.
In California, not in New York. Very good to know.
Yep.
I don't know what the law was in 1974.
But there's no way they could have not known, I guess. If they've seen the newspapers and stuff, they would have heard about it. So
I'm just saying, now if you were to ask your agent, so if the buyer asks your agent, hey, is this the house so-and-so was murdered in? They have an ethical responsibility. They do need to let you know.
Yeah.
But the seller's agent does not.
Yeah.
Which I think is a weird loophole. So.
Yeah. Well, that's why. Yeah, in California, you have to disclose that information.
It's 2021. I'm gonna be real honest. I did a Google search of my house before I bought it. Like,
yeah.
Isn't that what everybody does nowadays before you buy a home? You do
Google the address.
You Google the address, you Google the surrounding area, you look up your sex offender website notifications, which, because I am literally surrounded by 5 schools, we will never have a sex offender.
Yeah, they can't live in your...
They can't. So that was really good to know. Also, I think it's weird. I don't know what the law is in California, but if you're caught urinating in public 3 times in New York, you get on the registry, and I'm just like...
I think it's 1 here, as far as I know. I don't know for sure. But I'm like, can we differentiate that? Like, I don't think that's a cause for being put on the list. Like, I'm not worried about people who pee in public. I don't care. They can live wherever they want to.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little unsanitary, but I don't think you're, like, gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah. I remember I had a football game, and I was like, we played at a high school, and it was at night. We were playing on a high school field, and I like went to change in the bushes, and I was like, Lord, don't let anyone catch me changing. And then I end up on the sex offender list for changing clothes at a high school.
Jen,
I was like, I could see that happening. I was so nervous about it.
They're coming for you now, girl. They're coming for you.
Oh, Lord.
It's okay, because didn't I admit to a driving crime like
Yeah,
2
I'm sure
episodes
we've
ago.
admitted to many, many crimes on this show.
Crimes. Oh yeah, that was the episode we were telling our at Horror Mint.
Yeah, Brahmin, yeah.
I was telling them about my new favorite crime podcast and about how one of our police officers made it to the head of our unit.
Yeah,
No, he had been caught with a prostitute. So.
putting all the business out in the streets. It's fine.
As long as I'm not publicly urinating, that's fine. um, so I thought the special effects in this movie for 1979 were very well done.
Mhm. Yeah.
Although it's interesting, like the more you know, like today when I saw the blood, I was like, "Oh, look at that corn syrup! It's flowing so nice."
Going
Like,
so nicely down the house,
yeah.
down the walls. What was that stuff he fell in? Like, was that blood? Was that supposed to be blood? What was that?
Oh, at the very end when the
Yeah,
dog
that pit
pulls
he
him
fell
back,
into.
I just think it was swamp muck
Oh,
from the.
huh. I would prefer blood.
It was probably bay backwash, I would assume.
That's disgusting. The dog, though, he was all attacking him, and then he's like, "It's me." I was like, "Oh."
Yeah,
The puppy's helping him out.
yeah. Um, it was very interesting. You got to give it up for Mrs. Lutz, like just going, like like do not hurt my babies. I'm coming for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mama Bear.
yeah.
So I was kind of confused. So he did look. So he looked like. Was that a real picture of the guy that when she was looking on the microfiche and she saw his face?
Okay, I was having a lot of HBO streaming. Um, so I missed that scene.
Okay.
Um,
Because I was confused. I was like, did he live there before with the family or something? Or. Because it looked like it was him in the newspaper about the previous family that had died or been murdered.
well, they keep saying everybody in town kept saying it to him. You look exactly like him.
Yeah, yeah, okay. But she just
And
was like,
I didn't see the clipping well enough. My kid was also running around, but if you look up George DeFeo, or I guess Ronald DeFeo Jr., you look at like the original like arrest pictures, you can see they look very similar.
oh
But once
yeah,
again, like I said, every man in the 70s sported that haircut and beard, so I don't
yeah,
know. And it's really easy to make them
that is
look
correct.
similar. You
So
know what
he
I
was,
mean?
yeah. So he was 23 when he did it, huh?
Yes. Yes. And he passed away.
Yeah,
Uh
a couple weeks ago.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst still in prison. I was just kind of looking at like the property tax rates for I want to say the property taxes in that town are about 17 to 18,000 depending on the house.
How much?
17 to 18,000 a year depending on the house. And going up. That's on the low end.
So they got divorced
Mhm.
in 80. Sad times. If you can't make it through that.
Right. Um I mean, I think probably when they walked away from the house and then so you said they got divorced in 1980?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that um the book and subsequent movie and the subsequent publicity that probably followed that was probably too much.
Yeah, they couldn't.
I wouldn't be able to handle that. Cuz you had two things happening too, right at that time also. So
Yeah.
there was a huge bunch of people calling it a hoax, calling it this, calling it that.
Calling their experience a hoax?
Yes.
Okay.
Not murders, their experience.
Yeah.
They say that they bought the house solely to write this story, profit, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And that everybody who has agreed with them was in on it as part of a cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe anything supernatural happened in that house. However, I do believe that perhaps the stress of everything that Lutz signed up for, first of all, becoming a father to 3 kids that you don't really know is stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Buying a home is stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And now you've bought a house that 4 people were brutally murdered in. Even if nothing supernatural is happening in the home, that's still going to plague you.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't. Thirdly, he has that business, and then you find out through the course of the movie financially the business is not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Because the business had to have not been doing well at some point already, because we're at day 25, and I guess his manager is like, I know you're busy unpacking, but XYZ, da 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 da.
Yeah. When they're in the bar.
Yes. If the business had been doing well, the manager could have easily, for a minimum of, so say it's 28 days, but then, so that's 3 weeks. So take out 6 non-working days. So we've got 21 days, approximately, working days
Mm-hmm.
that he has missed or not been involved in.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, if a company was doing well, that
They wouldn't that wouldn't be affected that much.
yeah, not to the level it had, not to the level where we're bouncing checks at a caterer and whatnot. Felt so bad for the brother.
I know he lost that money.
Yeah.
They never found it, did they?
No.
That was such a random scene for him to just lose that money.
Yeah.
And it didn't really all it happened was him ending up talking to the caterer. But other than that, nothing really came of that. And it was weird for it to just disappear like that. I thought maybe he had taken it.
I think the bigger thing is for us to then get to the scene where he's saying even a caterer is going around talking about a check you bounced.
Yeah.
That is showing us how dire whatever financial situation is happening is happening.
Yeah.
And I know, so like my husband and I we were having paperwork problems with our house, not financial problems with our house. And my husband got the letter. I wasn't home. He immediately, his stress was out of 10. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it happened on a Friday and the bank didn't open again until Monday.
Of
So the
course.
poor man, we weren't even it wasn't financial problems. It was just paperwork problems. But seeing how worried he was, I'm like, honey, once I call the bank on Monday, everything's fine. I'm just gonna, basically, our taxes got assessed wrong and I had to send new paperwork.
Yeah.
That's literally all that happened.
Uh-huh.
But because the bank didn't, I guess what I didn't realize is I thought when your taxes get assessed, they send all the information to the bank as well. They don't.
Mm.
Only you get it. I was unawares. It's our first time owning a house. I said, honey, their numbers are wrong. That's not what our taxes are. And he's like, oh. I go, yeah, once, because they were asking for like a large amount of money,
Yeah.
which we could have paid, but it's just stressful. I'm like, no, we don't owe any of that.
Yeah.
He was still so stressed out. Now imagine, and I was stressed out too, just because I hate dealing with paperwork. I could only imagine if I was having real money problems in regards to my house,
Yeah, that's
what that would actually do to my psyche.
mhm.
Because now you're a father, you just took on being a father, so you have 4 people to provide for, and you're having money problems, and you just bought this new home.
Mhm.
It's like,
So
so
yeah, it's like supernatural stuff aside, you're gonna go a little crazy.
because $80,000 is a big note, and probably based on what happened in the house, I mean, so yeah, so that poor family had people calling them shysters. Oh, you did it for a quick buck, you had no money, blah 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 blah. And then just all the other people who might have believed them, and then it was just publicity. I mean, that's gotta take a toll on your entire life, your poor children.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the little one had that weird imaginary friend, which all 7-year-olds have,
Jody, yeah.
but not a great look.
No, no.
No, no. So yeah,
But I
so
wonder if how much of that was so. Did he end up writing the book or the movie? Oh,
he
okay,
wrote the book.
got it.
Yeah, and I wonder when the actual um release date. I just want to know when the book was actually released. 77, the book.
Okay.
So actually, it was written by J. J. Anson.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing they sold it to J. Anson to
Sold the
write.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, would be. Once again, guys, you don't come here for facts.
I hope
Because
not.
there have actually been. Then of course there is Murder in Amityville, which is about the murder.
Got it.
By Hans
The
Holzer,
original murder.
the original murder, yeah. Um, and then he also wrote the Amityville Curse, which is the curse. There's another book, The Night the DeFeos Died. So there's been a lot
Yeah.
written, done about this story. To me, the DeFeo situation is the more interesting to me. That's
Yeah. That's what I
um
want to know about how that went
yeah,
down.
yeah. So overall thoughts, overall feelings.
I think it's a classic. It's definitely one you should see just as a horror fan. You should have it in your wheelhouse of horror movies you've seen. I don't know that I would watch it again. I wasn't
Yeah.
that entertained by it where I'm like, "Oh, I need to watch
What
it
did you
again."
think of the scene where they're in the basement?
Which one where they're
Where
with
the
the
lady
lady?
like
The
this is
lady starts yeah. She was
mm-hmm.
being hyper dramatic for a second there. I was like, "Ma'am, that was pretty creepy." But then I couldn't tell what the voice, because then she was screaming and the priest was screaming at the same time, so I couldn't tell if it was attacking the priest and talking through her. I was kind of confused. I didn't really know what was going on.
Oh yeah, I have no clue. I have no answers for you.
Yeah.
Guys, you didn't come here for answers.
Yeah,
Just
no,
yeah.
we got
That,
no answers here. Um,
um,
but I liked looking at James Brolin. That was nice.
uh-huh.
His hair got crazy and crazier and longer. It was like
Oh yeah.
it got insane. I did like that. I had forgotten how the remake ended, so I didn't remember how. I don't know. I don't know if they end the same way, but I liked that it was a happy ending for the most part, and like the dad didn't have to die or anything like that.
Right. Well,
Uh,
he can't die. I mean, based on the nature that he told the story and sold the rights, I think people
yeah. Well,
watch.
but for movies they could change it. I mean, because they just say it's based on a true story, so they could still
True,
make
true.
yeah,
But
to make it scarier. But so, because he's a writer in real life, but in that he wasn't a writer, was he? In the movie, he's not a writer. Do they even say what his business is?
Mr. Lutz?
Yeah.
Oh. Hold on. Love when we just look stuff up.
It's fine. We just edit out the silences, our search silences.
Yeah,
I don't remember them saying what his business was
I'm
in the movie.
looking. I'm actually looking up through the book. Oh, Kathy Lutz was in Deer Park.
Is that a movie?
No, that's the town.
Oh, I was like, I don't know what that is.
Kathy, your accent was atrocious now that I know you grew up in Deer Park. Okay, so the Lutzes didn't work exclusively with Anson, submitted about 45 hours of tape recorded collections to him. I was pretty sure, but I wanted to double check this. Father Pecorino, he adamantly claims that he had never been to the home.
Oh.
Yeah.
So was he planning on writing this book and then moved into the house? Was he gonna write like I'm trying to figure out how that even happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Kathy Lutz, she passed away in 2004.
Yeah, he died in 2006.
Oh, in 1995, a self-styled vampirelist wrote the Amityville Horror Conspiracy. I think I might read that. See, he wrote a book in 2005, but I would like to know. Oh, George Lutz also passed away.
Yeah, I said in 2006.
I'm wow. It does not say what his business was. Sorry, guys. If any of you know, go ahead and give us a.
Yeah, because he said like he needed to go in the boathouse. He used the boathouse for something.
Right.
It sounded like he was a fisherman or something. I don't know. They were never quite clear.
Yeah.
But he was not a writer.
Not when this was happening, it doesn't look like. He became one, but
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, so he didn't move in there to write.
in 2005 is when he first published his books.
Wow.
I found the truth about Amityville.amityvillenow.com.
The budget for this was 4.7 million and they made 86.4.
Go them.
Yeah.
These were owners of a successful multi-generational family business.
Cool. Clears that up.
Yeah. So, doesn't say what kind of business though.
Right, just a generic business. You know, a business. Sorry, I keep yawning. I don't know what my problem is. Oh, I was up late last night. That's what it is.
Were you hanging in the group watch?
No, I was just up with my brother. We were watching scary stuff. We watched the new Creep Show.
People have been saying that's very good.
It's pretty good. Season 2. Creep Show on Shudder. The second story didn't make sense, but it's all right. There's a bug exterminator story that just is weird, and it ends weird, and I was like, I don't understand what's happening.
Ooh, I should watch that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get some exterminating tips.
Yes. Oh, and you'll like so have you watched it at all? Like season 1?
No, I haven't even watched season 1.
Oh, well, yeah, season 2 you have to watch the first episode. You'll like that one.
Okay. Oh, you posted like a still in the Shudder group.
Did I?
Yeah. Anything else new in pop culture that you're currently
Trying to think. Nope. My 911 has been on hiatus. That's irritating.
So irritating. I'll join you in the irritation. The
Like,
Resident has been on hiatus. So
it's
annoying.
like, come on, guys. Give me my shows. I need my shows.
But honestly, with them being on hiatus, I am almost done with this. I don't know if I'm almost done with The Sopranos. I gotta give it to them. It's never ending. But Steve Buscemi, current Valley Stream alum. What up, Steve? Graduated with my aunt. They were actually friends in high school. So I'm enjoying him on The Sopranos.
I didn't even know he was on that show.
Yeah. I'm new into his story arc and I'm enjoying it.
Nice.
He's a very good actor.
He is. Yeah, he's very underrated.
Loved him in Fargo. Which I think is probably one of the first things I ever saw him in.
I started Big Love.
Big Love is about the polygamy?
Yeah.
HBO or Showtime?
HBO.
Knows how I didn't even say Stars. Like,
yeah,
Stars has good content. I'm like, okay, I can't name one, but okay.
Yeah, it's all right. It's got. I did like Power. I have to finish Power, and then I have to finish the spinoff series, and that's the one Arlen's girlfriend is on. She's on that too.
People said I would like American Gods. I loved the book, which is probably why I'm not watching the show.
Yeah.
The only book to show in recent years that I thought was very well done. Oh, two. Big Little Lies, but I think that really had to do with the cast. I mean, Nicole Kidman just knocked it out of the park.
I haven't seen that or read it.
Oh, you should. I think you would love it. Zoe Kravitz knocks her role out of the park. It is very well done. It's an all-star cast. I mean, just A to Z. It's just
nice. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and then the other one was the Mr. Mercedes. I thought they did a very good job. It's been so long since I've read The Stand that I do want to watch it, but I don't want to watch it. And part of the reason, talking about casting that knocked it out of the park, I don't enjoy Whoopi.
Yeah.
And that other one. That one that was with Johnny.
Who? I don't know who. Oh, Amber Heard?
Yeah. I just don't enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a lot of, I know the characters they play a lot. They are big characters. It's not like, I mean, she plays Mother Abigail, which, by the way, Whoopi, you don't look no 108. Like, I don't know. The casting's very confusing. But it's so funny because I had heard The Stand may or may not have been coming back. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, if it does. Then now I've never watched The View willingly. That's how I need to preface this statement. But my boss likes it, and we used to have a TV in the old shop. And one day, we are watching it, and I see Whoopi's hair. And I go, what is up with her hair? And somebody who watched the show religiously said, Whoopi said she's playing an older woman in an upcoming show. She didn't say what show. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I said, please don't let it be The Stand. And I don't know why I thought it. Like, there was really no reason to think that. And then my worst fears came true.
And there it goes.
And also probably I'm being very prejudiced because I felt the woman who played Mother Abigail in the original Stand did a very good job. I really enjoyed her. So, there's just too much out there. Content-wise, and also
so much stuff to watch.
Also, I'm loving that they're putting up all the old shows. Mm-hmm. Because certain shows, like The Nanny, Fran Drescher, I love you. Um, uh, God, I just love her so much. She's such, like, if you listen to her story, she's such a survivor. Like,
Oh,
just
I
so,
know.
yeah, she's just so awesome.
Yeah, she's been through a
But
lot.
that show to me, so, like, it's just such a warm blanket. Like, minimal to no drama, just a fun half hour.
Yeah.
I turned to my husband last night because, the other thing is you can really just fast forward to your favorite episodes, which are nice. And I always love the wedding episode.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, my favorite part of the wedding episode is when Maxwell thinks he's talking to his ex-wife. And I go to my husband, I'm like, you should know I'm gonna cry. And he's like, giving me the face, like, yeah, I know, I've met you, we're married. So, but so that's the other thing is, like, now I'm watching all this stuff that I know I've watched before, and I'm like, I should be watching new content.
Right, but I'm like, but I like this so much.
Well,
I'm rewatching Hot in Cleveland. Did you ever watch that?
God, I love Hot in Cleveland.
Love Hot in Cleveland.
So I actually looked up, and so one of the reasons that we are drawn to things that we've already watched or already read is there's a comfort.
Yeah, that we know what to expect.
It's just,
It's
and
easier.
because we also tend to equate in our mind people that we might have watched those shows with who may or may not still be with us. So, like, for me, for The Nanny and Murder, She Wrote, and Jeopardy, that was my grandmother. Like, those were our three shows. We always watched them together.
Yeah.
So it's like the old episodes of Law and Order SVU remind me of my mother. Like, I used to watch those with her.
Yeah.
I wonder if, like, if my father ever passes away, I'm gonna be like renting 6 Feet Under, like, or, well, I guess I don't have to rent it, watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But like, just like, and they say, like, we use that, just like music, people are using, like, past shows that they used to watch to conjure memories to in past movies, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like watching old stuff.
Yeah.
And I like watching old shows that I didn't watch when they were on.
Yep, that's
like
with The Sopranos. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a show called Half and Half.
Oh, I know that one.
It's cute. It's on Netflix. It's two sisters. They're half sisters, and one is like bohemian, and then the other one is like going to law school, and the dad kind of spoils the younger one, and because he left the first one's mom, and so he has a new wife, and that's how she has the sister, and they end up living in the same apartment building that he owns, and it's just a cute, fun show, like you said, minimal drama.
Like that.
Yeah, it's super cute. Check it out if you have a chance. It's on Netflix.
You remember My Two Dads? That was such a fun.
Yeah.
That was a funny show.
I do remember that show. I don't know if I watched it. I want to watch Punky Brewster. That's what I want to watch.
Oh God.
Loved me some.
I wanted to be Punky.
Did you watch her documentary?
No, I did not.
It's called Kid 90 on Hulu.
Okay.
It's slow. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little boring, but it's interesting. Like, it's interesting to see the people that she hung out with, and you're watching it and you're like, wow, she has like voicemails from Jonathan Brandis and like just videos of her hanging out with Brian Austin Green. What?
R.I.P. Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because for the longest time I kept thinking it was Devin Sawa we were
Yeah.
and it was not.
I want to give a shout out to Slash U podcast.
Oh,
because they gave us a shout out a few months ago, and we never returned the favor. But shout out to Podcast U. No, Slash U podcast. I got that all wrong. Shout out
Slash U
podcast. There you go.
We apologize if you're unawares. We drink a lot during these. So.
I'm not even drunk today, so I have no excuse.
I was listening to the Gilmore Guys podcast, and one of them goes, I wonder if they're like, you can't drink and do a podcast. And I was like,
Says who?
Oh, children.
Okay.
Let me teach you my ways.
I feel like 60% of podcasters drink while they're recording their show.
I absolutely.
That's
listen,
the basis of shows sometimes.
our dear friend, well, not our dear friend, but I'm hoping to make him that, so power of belief, Andrew Santino from Whiskey Ginger, his whole premise is drinking whiskey and bullshitting with friends.
Right.
They're forever drinking over at the basement yard, usually some great like IPAs and stuff.
Yeah. So
Sal and Joey DeRosa are always sipping on something while they're fighting about food.
That's a
Get
fallacy.
out of here, Gilmore guys.
Yeah, who came up with that lie?
Although I have to say, I do kind of agree with them. Only because, and the guy who was with them who also agreed with them, he does the Best of Friends podcast.
Mm-hmm.
For those, I think when you're doing a podcast like that, where you're talking about a show that has a long chain of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they're trying to remember going back to like season 1 and stuff. Does this tie into this episode? And they're trying to look at those pieces while they're analyzing the show. I could see it being a lot harder to drink on a show like that than a show like ours where we're just
where you're actually trying to give real facts and not just looking them up on the spot.
Yeah, maybe, you know what, I'll give it to them. They were trying to have a level of professionalism that we don't ascribe
we're not going for on our show.
We're not going for it. And if you thought we were, I don't know who misled you, but
yikes,
I don't think it was us.
Yeah,
we came out of the gate drinking. So first episode, I was pouring Buffalo Trace. So that being said,
and every week I'm like, okay, I'm gonna research this week and be smart on the show and look like I know my shit. And then here we are. Shit up on the air.
You guys, if you knew how much shit Jen and I cut out of these episodes, you'd be like, how long did they record for? Because this episode went pretty long. Although, speaking of the Gilmore guys, so then they went on to do the show. Did you ever see the show Bunheads?
Yes, I love that show.
Okay, so then they went on to do Bunheads. First episode of their Bunheads podcast, mind you, Bunheads was an hour-long drama, which means after commercials, it was 45 minutes. It was over 3 hours. So I just want you all to know that. They had episodes that went 6 hours.
Wow, how do you talk for 3 hours about Bunheads?
To be fair, not a lot of it was about Bunheads.
Oh, well, there you go. I know how that is. Now that I can relate to.
That we can relate
probably talked about Amityville Horror for like 15 minutes total.
Yeah. To be fair, I think I talked more about the poor town of Amity than
yeah.
about their lack of a.
I was back to the shout out to Slashy podcast. This week they're talking about Motel Hell, which I want to watch because I've never seen that one. Have you seen that one?
Motel Hell. Wait, why does that sound familiar? Help me.
I think people have posted it in the group before.
That's why it sounds familiar. No, I haven't seen it.
It's streaming now.
It's like you're right. They have posted because I can picture the screenshot with like the
old man.
And the weird sign. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it and then listen to their episode about it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, it's on Prime. Sweet.
You told me The Wicker Man was on Prime.
Just Watch told me Wicker Man was on Prime. Okay.
It did. It lied to us.
It lied.
We were going to do, and we will do it. We were going to do The Wicker Man today.
Yeah.
But Amazon wanted $5 for a movie that came out in 1974. So because Jeff Bezos, you really need my $5 for a movie that came out in 1974. And we
cracked me up with the years.
Was I wrong?
Hilarious. No, I'm saying you cracked me up with when it was made being.
Excuse me, they only wanted $2.99 for the Ryan Reynolds one. Their algorithm.
Yeah, I don't know how they set up these prices.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Like, what are you basing this on, sir? What are you basing this on?
I'm sorry. No. They wanted $2.99 for the Nicolas Cage one. Oh, that's what they're pricing it on. That nobody would spend more than $2.99 for the Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
To be fair, I'm not spending $2.99 for the B movie. Okay.
I do want to rent his new movie, Willy's Wonderland. That's supposed to be like a horror, scary movie.
Didn't you read the reviews?
No, I don't read reviews.
No, I mean like, oh, it was discussed in the group.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see.
Very mixed reviews.
Yeah, which is why I just watch stuff myself and then decide if I like it or not. Because I don't trust people's opinions.
Poor Nicolas Cage. Well, it's funny because some of his movies, like you look at his breadth of work, right? And some of his movies are like just fantastic. Face Off, right there.
National treasure.
Fantastic. And then we've got things like, no offense, Jen, because I know we're going to do it. Do you want a Benadryl? Jesus Christ, girl.
No.
You've been
No, I was doing that to what you were talking about. I was like,
She's like, she's got a back scratcher and she's using it quite dramatically, everyone. Kind of like an old person with a walking stick who uses their walking stick dramatically. And in case anybody had any thoughts that I wouldn't be, when I'm older, I will be the old woman using her walking stick dramatically. And when I say dramatically, I mean hitting youngins in the shins with it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be an ornery old woman. I've already decided. But what we were talking about, Nicolas Cage. The remake of The Wicker Man was unique. So we'll I'll reserve them both at the library and then we can do that. Because I refuse to pay a grand total of over $7 to watch The Wicker Man.
Not happening. No, thank you.
Everybody who listens to this podcast must think like I'm broke. I'm not. I do fine at work. I'm just, the thing is,
not struggling. We're not making a GoFundMe for her yet.
No, I'm not struggling at all. I just refuse to pay for certain things. That's all it is. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, one of my friends could come up to me and be like, Elicia, can I have a 50? And I'd be like, here you go. Like,
yeah.
But I refuse to pay for a movie from 1974. I just can't do it, guys.
Just won't do it.
It's the principle.
The first one is on Hoopla. Or not the first one, the Nicolas Cage one is on Hoopla.
Blah. Right.
That's good. You don't even have to go pick it up.
No. Well, did I tell you how cool my library is? Like, our pickup system?
Mm-mm.
So, we have, like, these boxes, and they're on the outside of the, like, building. And so you put in your code and your passcode, like your library.
Oh, I think you did tell me this.
And then the little door swings open and you retrieve your item.
That's cool.
So, like, it makes life very easy.
I'm in the hood. They just shut our library down.
They did?
Yeah, the one that's, like, right by my house. It's just closed.
Was this a COVID decision or just...
Yeah, oh yeah, it was COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the height of COVID, ours was, like, closed, and then in July, we reopened. You could be in there for a max of 30 minutes, and there was, like, no indoor programs. Now we're starting to reinstate indoor programs.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is good, because my son loves them, so.
Yeah.
The library book sales coming up the end of the month.
Oh, I used to love book sales.
And I can't go because I work both of the days. So on the Saturday, I'm sending my husband. And what I love about our library is they do a $12 stuff-a-bag.
Oh, I love those. All the bags, all the books you can fit in the bag.
Yeah. So I told him, I just gave him, like, not a specific list, but I was just like, I told him, I'm like, let TJ stuff the bag. Like, whatever you see, just stuff the bag. To me, it's not really about the books. It's about supporting the library, honestly. Like, I don't care what comes in.
Yeah, or if he sees any Stephen King, he knows to pick that up.
Oh, yeah, he does. He was like, what if you already have it?
Doesn't matter.
I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Because I have so many friends in my Stephen King fan club group like especially in other countries that can't get it, I'm like, I'll ship it media mail to them for $2. Like I don't care about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you think we've ended up with four copies of Doomickey, which I can still not get through, but everybody tells me I must because it gets really good. I'm like, well, the hook is taking a while to get there.
You're like, when does it get good?
Yeah, when? People keep saying stop. Universally, though, I think most people will agree Tommy Knockers never gets good. And on the
Still
flip
waiting on that one.
On the flip side, most people universally agree that Doomickey gets very good and very gripping, that I just need to get there. But this week, I think I'm going to read Boy's Life by Robert McCammon because I've never read that.
An interesting book I'm reading is called Confident Women.
Okay.
And it's about con women, real stories, and they're little stories about con women in real life. So it's pretty interesting.
That is good. Is there anything else you want to plug, talk about?
I feel like we should be doing more shout outs to people. And I always forget.
Listen. The post-credit podcast, guys. I love you.
Oh, we adore you.
We do. You're doing too much new movies. I can't watch these quick enough. They got through to like Godzilla vs. Kong or something. I saw
what?
I'm like, how can you even have time to watch it and then do this? God bless you guys. So
that movie was trash, by the way.
Jen.
What?
I didn't get a chance yet.
You can still watch it. I'm just warning you. I'm trying to look out.
You know what? Since I don't have to pay any dollars to watch it, I probably will. See, this is also what confuses me. On HBO Max, I can watch Godzilla vs. Kong completely free, but
you have to pay $6 to
watch the original Wicker Man. The man. This is why other countries hate America. They're like, your monetary system makes absolutely no sense. And you know what? Other countries, I agree with you.
Capitalism is outrageous here. It's just outrageous.
None of us know what's going on.
Yeah.
We're just making prices up as we go.
That's hilarious. You can watch Godzilla vs. Kong for absolutely nothing.
I feel like there was another new movie that I wanted to watch, and once again was able to watch it for absolutely $0. Oh, did I say this one already? The Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Okay, so I was gonna start that one, but then I was like, I want to go back and watch all the movies first, and then.
Oh, I did, and I cried, and my husband looked at me. He's like, "What are you crying about?" I'm like, "He's about to get his cash, brother." When I was watching too,
like quack, quack.
Like, oh, they taught him to stand up for himself. Oh, he learned how to stop. My husband's like, just looked at me and walked away. He was like, I'm done. He's like, but as we all know, anything with the incomparable Mrs. Lauren Graham, I will undoubtedly watch. So yeah, that's very well done.
Yeah, I can't wait. I gotta get through all the movies and then watch it. I haven't been in the mood like lately. I've just been like, I don't even know what I want to watch.
That's also my problem.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is, and I think a lot of people say this, they're like, I don't got 2 hours and 20 minutes for a movie. Let me just put on this quick little 30-minute show on Netflix. 22 episodes of that 30-minute show.
You're now 10 hours in.
My butt is in traction. I could have watched. I'm numb from the waist down because I haven't moved, but
that's how they get you.
You know you've hit a level of laziness when you drop your remote and instead of repositioning the comfortability you've achieved on the couch, you call your 2-year-old over to pick it up.
That's what they're for. You know what? He's got to earn his keep some kind of way.
That's where we're at. No, actually, I have to say, I'm very blessed. My son is easily motivated and bribable, and he does like to help. So if you say, I always have to remember because I always fail. But if I remember to say, TJ, will you help me with this? I usually get a yes. If I'm like, TJ, clean up this, I get a no. So I gotta remember my wording with him.
There you go.
His favorite quote unquote chore is emptying the dishwasher.
Hopefully he hangs on to that.
Yeah, here we go. Hopefully. He wasn't moving his toys out of the kitchen. He had 2 things in the kitchen. I bribed him with $0.25 to move them.
Nice.
Then, like, last night.
Is that bribe, or you just paid him to move them?
Well, it was his allowance. This is what I called it. Quarter.
Okay.
I said, do you want to earn your quarter? Because, like, I have to tell you, even though I had an allowance growing up, if I didn't do my chores, I didn't just get my allowance.
Oh, yeah, me either. I had to do chores.
I don't understand what that mentality is. Like, isn't this supposed to be teaching you to, like, work hard for the things you want? And then my grandmother also had this thing, because I lived with her. She would have a chart, and I could sign up for additional chores, and she would tell me how much she would pay me for those.
That's cool. I don't mind.
The holidays were a good time because she liked the silverware polish for Thanksgiving, and she'd pay a pretty penny for that service.
Nice. And you would polish that penny also.
I polished mine. TJ loves pennies. Don't understand the kid. It's like, I got a penny. Okay.
Cool, bro.
Because you're 2.5 and you don't understand the value of money. Or the fact that, once again, no other country understands why we still have this unit of measure that literally costs us more to make than it is worth. Like, nobody understands it.
Who knows? We were supposed to be on the metric system in the 80s, so.
That's never happening. Nobody knows why, but it's not.
Yeah, so. Who knows what we're doing right now? Nobody knows.
At least none of us know together.
Yes, we're all in this together. We're all clueless together.
Ooh, Clueless. That's a good movie.
I love that movie. I could watch that movie over and over again.
That is such a feel-good movie.
Because Cher is such a, like, they could have made her an annoying person, but she's such a sweet person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's respectful to her dad.
Mm-hmm.
That whole movie is just great. It's amazing.
It really is. My favorite scene still to this day is when she comes down and he's like, Josh goes, you're not going to let her go out like that, are you? And he goes, Cher, get in here. You're going to put something over that.
I was just going to.
And then she comes out with the most see-through thing. I'm like, this is fantastic.
Like, that's not quite what he had in mind, probably, but okay. And Mr. Paul Rudd just not even aging a day.
No. You mean you talked yourself into these grades? Yeah, Dad, are you proud? I could
be prouder if they were based on actual grades.
It's like, oh my God.
I'm like, that's actually real world stuff. Like, that's actually more of a skill that you could use in the real world than actually testing well.
That's what her father's point was.
Yeah.
Cher, I want you to take this seriously. You're going to learn how to drive. And then he's like, oh, gosh. Do you want to try parallel parking? Why? Everywhere you go has
valet.
I have to tell you, I hate parallel parking. I don't do it.
I'm so good at it.
I think, well, you have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In LA, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I can plug. My parking app.
Oh, yes, please do.
It's called Park City. So it's an app and it reads parking signs for you. It's PARXITY. You can find it on Instagram at Park City. You can find the app on we're trying to get back on the Play Store. It got suspended because I wasn't promoting it during COVID because they were not giving out parking tickets. So we're trying to get it back on the Android store, Google Play Store. It is in the iPhone store right now.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all I got. What do you got? Anything?
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Today's
a slow one. Chill episode. Next week we'll do the remake. That one will have a little more chatter because we will have Ryan Reynolds to speak about.
Yeah. You've seen the remake?
Long time ago, but yes.
Okay, because I was going to prepare you that I feel that it's even a slower burn.
I don't remember.
Which I kind of like, because I do feel like you see him devolving a little bit.
Transitioning, yeah.
A little bit more. So plus it's Ryan Reynolds. So
can't go wrong with him.
Him and Blake Lively, and God, do they make the greatest looking kids.
I don't think I've ever seen their kids.
After Mr. and Mrs. Driver, they are
next in line.
Funnily enough, as much as I hated the book A Simple Favor, I really liked the movie, but once again, I think that's because Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick are so enigmatic people that you can't help but like them.
The movie was so strange.
But better than the book. I think that's all for this week.
Yeah, that's it. So you know where to reach us?
If
Check out our YouTube channel.
We can't help you. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's you know the drill by now.
Yeah.
And please, if you haven't, give us a review.
Rate us. It really helps us.
Yeah, it helps us out.
Long, really, I'm looking at you. I know you're our #1 fan. Write a review.
Write a review on Apple.
Great. I'm calling you out. I know you guys listen every week. You comment to us privately about how great it is. Comment publicly. 5
stars. Say something.
Little typity type.
Yes. Please.
Perhaps I will call you two out every week until
it happens.
So you might want to start. I don't know.
That is possible.
Yes. Okay.
All right, y'all. Have a good week.
Yep. Bye.